Every case has a timeline, and sometimes it's the gaps in that timeline that leave people searching for answers. Welcome to Black File Investigations. I am Egypt. Today, we're taking a closer look at the disappearance and death of 18-year-old Nolan Wells, a case that has raised questions, sparked conversations online, and left many people wanting a clearer picture of what happened during those final hours. Before we begin, I want to be clear. This investigation is ongoing. In this video, we will separate confirmed information from public discussion and opinion. No individual has been convicted of a crime, and everyone is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Now, let's open the file. On July 4th, 2026, Nolan Wells traveled by boat with a group of friends to Horn Island, Mississippi for Independence Day celebrations. According to the information that has been publicly reported, Nolan was last confirmed alive at approximately 3 p.m. He was reportedly seen on the western or northwestern side of the island, wearing swim trunks, without a shirt, and wearing sunglasses. At that moment, Nolan was simply enjoying a holiday with friends. But what happened after that moment is where the questions begin. Later that evening, the group he arrived with reportedly returned to the mainland, but Nolan did not return with them. And this is where investigators are trying to piece together the timeline. When was Nolan last physically seen? Who was the last person to interact with him? And what happened during the time between Nolan being seen alive and the moment people realized he was missing? Nolan was not on Horn Island alone. He arrived with a group of friends, and because they were among the last people known to have been around him, their accounts are an important part of understanding Nolan's final movements. Investigators are working to answer questions like, when did each person last see Nolan? Did anyone know he had become separated from the group? Was there a misunderstanding about where Nolan was or whether he was returning? At this time, authorities have not publicly released the full details of everyone's statements, but understanding that timeline is a key part of any investigation. Once Nolan was reported missing, the search expanded quickly. Multiple agencies became involved, including the Jackson County Sheriff's Department, the U.S. Coast Guard, Mississippi Department of Marine Resources, Gulf Island National Seashore officials, and volunteer search teams. Search crews looked across the shoreline, inland areas, and surrounding waters. They searched areas where someone could become lost, injured, or separated from others. They also asked the public for help, especially anyone who may have been boating nearby or who may have seen Nolan after his last confirmed sighting.
Authorities in Mississippi have located a body they believe likely belongs to a teen missing since the 4th of July. 18-year-old Nolan Wells was last seen on Horn Island Saturday. The barrier island is a popular vacation spot. The local sheriff's office says Wells was there with friends for the holiday when he was reported missing. ABC's Alex Perez is following this case for us. And Alex, great to see you. What's the latest with this?
Yeah, as Stephanie, officials unfortunately say it appears we're dealing with a tragic ending in this case after beloved 18-year-old Nolan Wells disappeared July 4th after going on a boating trip with friends. Now, sadly, officials say a body matching the description of the 18-year-old was recovered about 8:45 this morning just off the shore of Horn Island, a popular holiday destination about 10 miles off the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Now, the teen and friends reportedly took a boat trip to the barrier island for the 4th of July holiday. He was last seen on Saturday at about 3 p.m. After he vanished, his family and friends making an emotional plea for help, flooding social media with pictures of the outing showing Wells and a group of friends on a boat. The 18-year-old seen holding what appears to be a hard or alcohol seltzer in his hand. The Jackson County Sheriff's Department, the Cajun Navy, and many volunteers spending much of the weekend searching for Wells. It remains unclear what exactly happened to him. Authorities say they are still working to figure out what exactly went wrong here as his community now grieves. Stephanie?
This is so tragic. Our hearts are with his family. Alex, thank you very much.
During the search, authorities discovered a body on Horn Island. The discovery changed the nature of the case from a missing person investigation to a recovery and identification process. Officials worked through the proper procedures, including identification and notification of family. As investigators continue working to understand what happened, many people began looking more closely at the timeline. Whenever a case receives widespread attention, people begin analyzing every detail, conversations, videos, social media posts, and statements from those connected to the situation. As attention surrounding Nolan's case grew, people online began sharing information, observations, and theories about what may have happened before his disappearance. One topic that gained attention was a video showing an argument involving individuals who some viewers believe may have been connected to Nolan. Before we look at that footage, I want to show you the conversation that was taking place online around this video. It is important to remember, social media discussions are not the same as verified evidence. Comments can raise questions, but investigators are the ones responsible for determining what is fact and what is not. Here's the discussion that circulated online, which reads, from one person, "One of my passengers is pretty certain he was a part of that group that was almost fighting around 5 p.m. The Bertrand with the blue top that I posted left shortly after that and pretty fast." Someone asked him, were they fighting amongst themselves or other people? That's a question I'd have. Then the person responded, "The 3 people on my boat that saw it all says yes, it was amongst themselves." Here is the video pertaining to the discussion that we just read. This video has raised questions among viewers who have been following the case. However, a video alone does not tell the complete story, and investigators have not publicly stated that this footage proves what happened to Nolan. As more people began following the case, additional claims and opinions began spreading online. Some people began discussing legal representation, changes to social media accounts, and other actions involving individuals connected to the situation.
These are Nolan Wells' friends that didn't remember anything, but they remembered to deactivate every single social media account that they have. Them, his girlfriend, their parents, all the accounts deactivated and wiped clean. All of them. Jax, Eric, Wyatt, Warren, Morgan, jail. Jail for everyone. Because they're already circling the wagons. They're already lawyered up. But wait, their parents are doctors, lawyers, and judges. This is the father of one of his friends. And this is the stepmama, Ashley Cole. Court judge for Jackson, George, and Greene counties in the beautiful state of Mississippi has already deactivated her account. Deactivated all the accounts, and they have all unfollowed Nolan. And this is Katie, who is supposedly, allegedly cooperating with authorities because all the other friends are lawyered up and not helpful and not talking. The doctors and the lawyers and the judges' parents of these 5 have said that they would like privacy, please, at this time. But you know what? Name them publicly. No privacy and no peace for Eli, also known as Jax, Eric, Wyatt, Warren, and Morgan. What happened to Nolan? What did you do to Nolan? His phone came back safe, but he didn't? Why were y'all arguing just minutes before he was reported missing, and y'all were continuing to party late into the evening? Other boats that were docked and parked next to yours saw y'all, but Nolan was missing. We're gonna find out. The truth shall come to light.
This next clip reflects concerns and discussions that have circulated publicly. It is important to remember that seeking legal advice or making personal decisions about social media does not by itself prove involvement in a crime. As the public continues searching for answers, some people close to the situation have expressed their concerns and believe the circumstances deserve a closer look.
Kid Nolan that's missing here from Biloxi, Ocean Springs, Mississippi, it's a lot more sinister than you guys think. A girl named Vi Alice Ross posted that the white boys needed to be investigated because she went to school with them and it wasn't all that you guys think it is. Another girl, Caitlin, states that she was parked next to them until about 7:30 with no sign of Nolan to be found, but yet that The report was he went missing earlier in the day, so why would they continue partying? It just doesn't make sense to me.
These are concerns being expressed by some members of the community. Ultimately, investigators, not social media speculation, will determine what evidence shows. When you look at the timeline, there are several important points. Nolan was seen alive around 3 p.m. He was on an island with other people. At some point, he became separated from the group. A search began, and his body was later discovered. But the biggest question remains: what happened during those missing hours? Because sometimes the most important part of the investigation isn't just what we know, it's what we don't know yet. The answers will come from evidence, witness accounts, and the work of investigators. Until then, the case remains open, and Nolan's family, friends, and community continue waiting for the truth. This is Black File Investigations. I am Egypt. Stay aware, stay informed, and I'll see you when we open the next case file.